No, Sirski. That was not what it was giving. It was another lesson.
It was a whole other lesson. And that's fine because guess what? It brought me to the journey where I am now. And I'm finally realizing that I am becoming her.
You are now listening to The Mental Breakdown. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Mental Breakdown. It's Earth to Asia and
Journey with Jazz.
Yes, you heard it here. We're back again another week. This is actually part 2. Take 2, I should say.
Take 2, babe. We was having technical difficulty yesterday.
Yesterday, we tried to record. We were all ready for the conversation. And all of a sudden, my side, the connection just was not connecting.
It wasn't we went through a whole ordeal. Like, she literally moved from the place she's recording now upstairs. She restarted her whole computer, undid the Wi-Fi, turned the Wi-Fi off, turned it back on, and it still was just lagging. So you know what? We just chalked it up to it wasn't meant to be that day. But we're here now.
We're here now. So if you're watching on YouTube, because I think the sound is fine, but if you're watching on YouTube and you see some type of lag, I don't want to jinx it. Hopefully not. But that's what's going on. But we're going to try to just go ahead because we got to do it today. We got to get it done. So we're just going to try our best for you all.
Absolutely.
So how are you doing today, Jess?
Today's actually been a pretty good day. I can't lie. The past couple of weeks, I've been kind of feeling, I don't know, a little bit, my energetic level has been low. My frequency just been vibing low, just feeling in grind mode and just, I don't know, monotonous. But today I got some good news. I can move into my new apartment in 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
So, well, hopefully. So basically I have to go talk to them tomorrow, and I just got to get all the paperwork straight, and then we'll just have to see which unit I'll be able to move into. So the latest will be in a month, but I'm shooting for 2 weeks. So yeah, that's really exciting news for today. And yeah, okay, my first apartment by myself, y'all. Making big girl moves. So
big girl moves. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to come visit.
Oh my gosh, you have to come visit. I'm probably gonna have and see, this is me jumping the gun because I ain't even talked to the people yet. But I'm probably gonna have a housewarming at least a month or 2 after. So
I'll be there. I'll be there. With the housewarming gift and everything, something real unique, something that everybody don't have.
Okay.
Also, you can see, let's also look at Jazz's hair. It looks beautiful. She said all that she used was a moisturizer and some water. I said, girl,
get into it, babe.
It's really good.
I appreciate that. My hair has come a long way. For those of you who know, I chopped it all off maybe a year and a half ago, and it went from literally nothing, y'all. I literally had little baby curls to this in a year and a half. So we're just proud of the growth, proud of how far we've come in our hair journey. Okay, and then secondly, check out Asia's locks, because
they locking.
They locking. The locks are locking, babe.
I haven't done anything on my YouTube channel in a long time, so I use this as a link check. If you're watching, look at the link check.
Okay. Giving the girl swang.
All right. Well, last week we talked about, what we talked about, Jasmine? I'm not even looking at my stuff. Last week we talked about living a healthy and balanced lifestyle. And this week we're talking about something that we're still learning, but we're talking about spiritual relationships. Okay, so all that karmic stuff. We're talking about soulmates. We're talking about twin flames, that type of stuff. So I wanted to put on the spectacles today, but I got on contacts, so I don't want to hurt my eyeballs. But we're learning today. How do you feel about the conversation, guys?
I feel like the conversation is very interesting from my standpoint, because I think that as of recently, I have been able to be in relationships with people and understand and see the type of spiritual connection that they have, and the category I guess they fall into. So it's kind of interesting to me to kind of talk about this more with everybody else and kind of get everybody else's perspective and your perspective on the topic. How do you feel about it?
I'm excited just because I don't know, I feel like this is something that I've been trying to discover throughout just, I guess, my life of dating. So yeah, like just to like kind of unpack and trying to see like, okay, well, this person was that. I thought at the time that this person was this, but nah, he was actually this.
Yeah.
I actually, like, speaking of that, I was able to last night, being that we didn't record, I was like, well, let me do a little deeper dive before the podcast, because y'all, we using Google. We don't know. But I was able to, like, you know, look it up, look at some YouTube videos, and I was able to identify who matched up with the definitions of karmic, soulmates, soul groups. I learned that term yesterday, and then twin flames. But we'll try to like go into other ones. So we have this source from Google. It's called Mind Body Green. That's this website. But so it talks about 12 types of soulmates and how to recognize them. So I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to try to get like a brief you know, description of what it is, and we could kind of talk about, Jazz and I could kind of talk about like who we feel like matches up, or not necessarily. We're not gonna name drop, but we're gonna like talk about them.
Sure.
So first here it says like, what is a soul connection? I will read this though. It says a soul connection is when two people feel they are linked on a soul level in a significant or extraordinary way. It's the sense that your link transcends the earth plane, transcending the practical details of your relationship, like being coworkers or lovers. And that is something much more brought you together or is at play. You might feel you have known each other in a past life. I know this is kind of like a different topic for some people, but have you heard of that?
Yeah, like I definitely, and part of you, the last part of what you said was kind of breaking up. So if you want to reread that, because I kind of missed that because I didn't hear you.
Okay, where did
like you read like the last like 2 or 3 sentences?
All right, so you might feel you have known each other in a past life, or that your souls agreed before this life to meet up now. And so I was saying how like that's kind of like when people talk about soul contracts before you come here, and I was asking if you've heard of that before.
Oh yeah, I definitely heard of that. Like you basically, the life that you're living or the life that you come into, you signed up for that life before you came into this realm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the types of soulmates that they talk about, so they talk about soul partners, soul ties, which everybody talk about, past life soulmates, karmic soulmates, romantic soulmates, twin flames, companion soulmates, aka soulmate friends, soul families and soul groups, kindred spirits, soul contracts, soul teachers, and soul crossings. So I know that was a lot I just named, but we probably will focus on twin flames, romantic soulmates, karmic soulmates, and probably soul ties. Yeah. And I can kind of go into like the soul groups.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. So I'm gonna look at my handy dandy Earth to Asia journal.
Girl, I thought that was a Bible.
No, this is not a Bible. This is my Earth to Asia journal. No, if I started reading the scriptures.
Right, I'm playing. She ready to get real deep into it, y'all.
You funny. Okay. Woo. So I was watching a video, like I said, last night off of YouTube. And so for karmic, well, we'll just start with karmic. So for karmic, it was saying that you get them on a soul level, and with those, it's like very strong lessons comes with those type of people. You come to present, I wrote real sloppy, y'all. Come to present challenges. These type of relationships come to present challenges to better yourself. And actually, like they said that there is some conflict, like either you and the person, like there's a lot of conflict, or like someone within their family, you know, when you kind of get the feeling of like, you might not know a person, but you get the feeling of like, I don't like that. I don't know how I like this person, or I don't like how their energy is, like, but you don't really know them.
Yeah, or I feel like that person presents some type of like conflict that you have internally, like within you. Like that's part of the lesson that you're learning is whatever it is that they kind of trigger something in you. And that's the conflict too. I feel like that could be part of it.
Yeah, it talked about all of that. Like they said, karmics in your life, they're in your life for a reason, but only for a season. You've been with this person, like this relationship has transcended over multiple lifetimes. That's what she talked about. And it's kind of like it's like she kind of explained it as like if you are watching a movie and the movie ends, right? But then you have like a part 2, part 3, part 4. So it's like that. So it's transcending over lifetimes. And then it says this type of relationship is an addictive relationship, and it's kind of like codependent. You learn strong lessons from it. There's some oppositions and unresolved conflict from past life. So, do you feel like you pinpoint the person that you feel like, you want to talk about?
Oh, for sure. I already knew. Before we even had this conversation, I already knew who my karmic
girl, me too.
I already knew. But I honestly, the last guy that I was talking to, that was definitely my karmic relationship. Like it's like it's kind of crazy because it touches on all of those parts. Like the relationship, first of all, when it first even started, it was, we got to know each other a little bit, and then boom, like he is a very spiritual person. So he came at me with like, yeah, for me, this is a very karmic relationship. Like we're not going any further than, whatever it is right now. Don't expect me to, cuff you or us to be in a relationship, because this is just a lesson that I'm learning on my journey, and blah, 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 blah. And it was a whole bunch of backstory. He had a 7-year relationship he just got out of, and it was just, a whole lot of past that had gone on that just did not permit for us to be a thing.
He was able, I just wanted to ask, he was able to identify that it was karmic, like even before like it even started?
Yeah, like I would say like we hung out like maybe 3 or 4 times. And one day I'll never forget it. Like we were sitting down, we was chilling, and he was just like, so where do you see this relationship? Like, I know, there's mutual feelings here, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, at that time, I was at this point where I was like, I'm new here to Greensboro. I'm down for whatever. Like, I'm really here for the vibes. If it turns into something, it turns into something. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And he was just like, well, I just don't think that that's the type of relationship that it's going to be. Like, I don't think it's going to go any further than that. And it really turned out to be true. Like, I really feel like that person, like, and he's still a great person. He's still in my life. Like, we still talk. It's still cool. We recently just kind of like disconnected as far as, I guess, the more romantic side of our relationship. But I learned so much from him. Like, so much, even about myself, about life in general, about how like clear boundary setting, and like how to work with somebody that you might not necessarily see yourself being within the long term, but being able to disassociate your emotions enough to be able to still interact with that person. It was a very learned experience for me. And I think, even now, even though we don't talk as much, I still learn from him. He still comes over, we still chop it up. Like it's all love between me and him. But that was definitely a karmic relationship, because I felt like I knew him. Like when we talk and we have conversation, like there's a different connection that I have with him than any other man that I have come in contact with or been on that level with. So
and I just want to, it's so funny that Jasmine and I kind of, well, like when mine was kind of ending, that's when hers was kind of starting.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So, do you feel like, before I get into mine and the differences of yours and how you are still able to communicate with yours, which mine might be a little bit different too, because now I have a boyfriend and the communication wouldn't be all the time with my karmic relationship anyway.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that your karmic relationship, the person was, any partner was like narcissistic in a way, or no?
No, I feel like sometimes he had a very large ego. But I don't think narcissistic would be the word I would use for him. But his ego definitely was strong sometimes.
Okay. So my karmic relationship, well, I don't want to call it like, okay, so they're all of these things, and Jasmine taught me this. Once again, Jasmine and I would teach each other a lot of things. So Jasmine has taught me a lot of things over the years. But she told me that relationships don't necessarily mean like they don't always have to be romantic. Like when you say relationships. So this particular relationship was not. It was romantic. It was supposed to be romantic, but this person wasn't. To keep it in layman terms, was not my boyfriend, but this was a person that, I met, and we were on the same, like we were literally on the same path, it seemed like. And where it talks about like he's in your life for a reason, but only for a season, I definitely see how, and like the lessons that I've learned throughout that, I definitely can see like for sure that he's that. But I think that mine didn't last just because he was, or not, I don't want to say it didn't last. Mine didn't, we weren't able to still be friends after, which I kind of wish that we were, because I like peace and stuff. Like, I like to still be cool with people. We ain't gonna be, buddy like we were, but like to just still have that conversation just because I understood him on a soul level, on a spiritual level. It could not happen anymore because he was narcissistic, you know? Yeah. And so like, when the disrespect, because I find that disrespectful for him to move about certain things in that way, and I don't take disrespect well. So once I was able to like move the emotions the emotional side of me out of the way and kind of see everything clear for what it is, I was like, no, I can't. But I did wish, it is a type of situation where I wish that we were able to still communicate on that soul level, I guess, because we definitely understood each other on that. So, but I mean, needless to say, I know that it's not a situation that, I know it was a toxic situation. It's not a person for me, but like Jasmine was saying, it was a situation where nobody, I don't want to say I don't understand anybody, but it's just different. It's just different.
But I think also like, at least with me and, this past person, it was very like the conversation, but the relationship was always respectful. Like it was always respectful. There was always a sense of mutual respect, and it was never a facade. I think like we each kind of like, we all got our own stuff, and because we weren't trying to move or transcend the relationship farther than what it was, we didn't necessarily open up about everything, but the things we did open up about, we were very vulnerable about. So it was just like, I don't feel like that was the case.
Yeah, that was the case for me. Like we opened up about like almost everything, and it wasn't put out for me. Like he didn't say like, oh, this isn't what I want. Like it was like, oh yeah, okay, we're going to move into this as if, and maybe he just didn't know, and that's fair to say that he didn't know what it was going to be at the time, but he was moving into it like, yeah, like I want you to be this and that for me, and we're going to be together and da da da. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's where the disrespect, I feel like it came from, because it's like you're portraying this situation and you're also getting my emotions involved in a way where, I'm prepared for us to be linked in a way where you're not mine, but you're my person, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what it ended up being. And I think that was the biggest thing for me in this relationship that I appreciate the most, was that he was very transparent about the fact that it's not going to be more than what it is, you know what I'm saying? And even people around me, they kept saying, oh, like people I used to tell about, our relationship or whatever, they'll be like, oh, like, you don't know, like one day he's going to surprise you and you're all going to be together. But I'm like, no, like that's not what it is. And you got to stick, like, remember that, like, be very clear and intentional about your relationships, because if you're not, things can get very murky, and especially as a woman, getting your feelings and your emotions involved,
it'll take a toll. It'll take a toll on you. But I think with that relationship, it was like a lot of back and forth. So like at first it was hardcore, like, yes, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, we're going to be this, we're going to be that, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And then it moved to like, maybe not, like on his end. Mine kind of too, but more so his end. Maybe not. And then it was like, oh no, yeah, hold on, yeah, we're fine. And then I don't know about that.
Yeah. And I can't take that wishy-washiness.
Yeah, back and forth. I didn't like it. So once I started to realize things, my mind was just like, my mind was fed up. So I was like, I cannot do this anymore. So I had to like, quote unquote, break up. It wasn't really like, I guess you could call it a breakup, but it wasn't like a relationship. You can't say, it wasn't like a, we weren't together. He wasn't my boyfriend, but I did have to tell him like, we can't do this no more. Like, I can't do it anymore. Yeah. But I still, at the end of the day, was, like feeling some type of way.
For sure.
At the time.
For sure. I get that. And I think that, like, I don't know, that relationship, because usually, you know me, you be talking about certain people, I'll be like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. No. You know what I'm saying? And for him, I was like, okay, like, this might be a little vibe.
Yeah, and Jazz usually can point it out. So, like, she was like, okay, all right, So I'm like, okay. All right.
Yeah. Like, this might be okay. But he was very deceptive. Like, his words and his actions did not match. And I feel like that was also part of the lesson for you. Is like, and also a lesson that I'm learning. Like, even my recent encounters with men is like, it's not always as it seems. Like, it can present itself as one way, but be vigilant and keep your eyes open, because it can turn from this to that in a split second.
Yeah. And I don't think it was anything like, for me, like, just being frankly honest. I don't think it was anything for me, like, because and I can say this now, I didn't want to say it to his face then, but now I could I could say, like, I've definitely dated people cuter than that person, like, for sure. Okay. Yeah. And so
and that was the other thing too, is like, I didn't even think, like, me and Asia have two different types of men. Like, we do not like the same men. And so for me, I'm like, oh, he's okay. But in my mind, I'm like, I think he's okay. I don't know why Asia think this man is attractive, because we don't like the same men. So
right. But like, the guy and I, we were on the same spiritual path. And the thing about it is, in the beginning, I was like, I want to, even since I wasn't attracted to him initially, I was like, well, we could just be friends. Like, that'd be cool. Like, I have me like a little, person that I could talk to on this journey. And I think at the end, and even now, I'm like, yeah, I knew that we were on the same journey. So it's like, well, I don't want to say now, because I would honestly would not be talking to him right now for real, because I do have a boyfriend. But I wish that it doesn't have to be that the way that it is right now, because initially I was like, dang, we could probably just be friends, that was the initial thought. But he did his talking and stuff, how guys do, and it ended up being something more than what it really was truly not supposed to be anyway. So yeah, just want to put that out there, that he was not all that anyway initially to me. So but it was just, it was the things that he was into. I've never come across somebody who was into the same things as me, like it was almost, I don't want to say like he was like a guy, and the guy version of me, maybe not all the way like that, but like it pretty much aligned,
Yeah. And I think like, even with maybe more of like, twin flames, but I think even with karmic relationships, there can be some type of reflective piece to it. Like, that person is reflecting you in a way, so that you're learning through them, type of thing.
Yeah. And I definitely learned some hard lessons that I'm just going to keep to myself. But I do want to say that I did learn some hard lessons, and I have overcome those lessons within that relationship. And I do feel a change within myself. And I'm hopefully, he feels the same thing on his end. And because I can't say for him how it was, but I know what we were doing and what we were going through as far as like just growing as people. So hopefully he does feel a change within himself, within the way that he loves, within, and I wish nothing but the best to him. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Ditto. But me, and if he's listening to this podcast, we still here. So we still straight. You know who you are.
All right, so now we're getting ready to what's the word I'm looking for? transfer over into talking about twin flames. So I don't have as many notes on the twin flame, but I do have some. So they said that twin flames is one soul and it splits up into two. Mm-hmm. I kind of look at that like kind of like twins, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They say that it's is this the one that says magnetic? You can't learn from each other. Oh, that's one thing. Yeah. She said you cannot learn from each other because you're too much alike. So it's not like a karmic relationship where you are like learning hard lessons, but like you guys definitely probably have a fun time together because you're just so much alike. But at the same time, I think twin flames can still have a toxic part to them. Do you know much about twin flames?
So I know somebody who identifies with twin flame relationships. And basically what he told me was that, so they're basically mirrors of each other. So they have a lot in common and they're drawn to each other because they are like so much alike, and their souls are so like, it's from a soul level. Like it's not even like a personality level or, like a external hobby level. It's like a soul connection that you have with this person, and it is magnetic. And it's like it's so toxic. It can become toxic because you're so magnetic, you're so drawn to each other, right? So like even if the relationship isn't going the way it should be, or like y'all shouldn't be together, because twin flames, y'all don't have to be together. It's not a thing where like the relationship, y'all are meant to be and y'all are meant to be in love and all this stuff. It doesn't have to be that way. But because you're so drawn to each other, it can feel that way. And it could become easily toxic because if the relationship isn't going the way it should be, or y'all aren't vibing on a frequency where y'all are matching and meant to be together, then it can get real toxic really fast. And the twin flame, like the flame part, means like it can get real fiery. Like it can get really like, I don't want to say aggressive because we don't condone domestic abuse and things like that, but the relationship can get really like fiery. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like
messy, fiery.
Like
quickly.
And interacting with that person even on like a sexual level can be very toxic, because that situation, obviously, anybody that you interact with sexually, like you have this certain soul tie, and so you're putting a soul tie on top of this twin flame energy, and that even creates a lustful situation. It can get real crazy with the twin flames. If you're in a twin flame relationship, you to be very mindful of what you got going on, because it can get real bad real fast, or it could be something beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But you got to navigate that. You have to be intentional about a twin flame relationship, because if you're not, no.
But before I start talking about mine, because I think you might know mine.
I don't know.
No? Do you know mine? I mean, you definitely know the situation, but like
can I identify?
Yes. While you think about that, I'm gonna read this. So, according to our Google handy dandy, thing, it says this popular term, twin flames, this popular term describes an intense soul connection, and some people believe twin flames are actually one soul that's split into two bodies. According to the theory, twin flames can love, challenge, teach, and heal each other in a unique, powerful way. Yet, Whitehurst cautions, I guess this is the author, cautions against feeling like you need another person to complete you. Just remember, there can be a shadow side of trying to fit people into a certain category in your life, including a spiritual category. While some believe the twin flame is the ultimate romantic experience, remember, every relationship you enter with another person, romantic or otherwise, has a potential to help you achieve more enlightenment. So, I mean, this one is talking about teaching as well, but for mine, I mean, I did get some lessons, actually.
I think anybody who doesn't work out is always a lesson. Like there is a lesson in that somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I haven't experienced a twin flame relationship. Quite honestly, I think like emotionally, I don't know, maybe my emotional intelligence, because I'm just not that emotional of a person. Like I can get there. I can definitely have emotions and I feel emotions, but I don't know. I'm not that emotional of a person. And to me, like a twin flame relationship seems like very intense emotions. So yeah, I don't think I've never been in a twin flame relationship.
Do you remember mine now?
Are we talking about like freshman year?
No.
Then no, I don't know who we're talking about.
Yeah, you do. I guess.
Oh, wait. Are we talking about summertime?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I recall.
Twin flame.
But you think that was a twin flame, or you think it was just a really big lesson?
I think it was a big lesson, but I feel like it was giving twin flame because it kind of goes with what you were just saying, like that high emotion. It's a very, emotional, definitely emotional on both ends. I'm an emotional person. Pretty sure he's an emotional person just from what I know him as.
Do you feel like he's you though, like in another person? Like, do you feel like he's a reflection of you and like on a soul level?
Okay, on a soul level, but not with the whole like natural I'm kind of like torn between it. Maybe it's not twin flame because I'm not sure, but I really feel like it was though.
I feel like your whole like natural aesthetic and your holistic lifestyle may not have anything to do with the twin flame part. I think that part is more like you literally your connection, like when you are around that person, like do you feel
okay, let me
like
tell
a
you why.
magnetic?
Yeah, no, that's exactly why, because when I met him, I felt like I've never felt like a like I've never felt like a spark ever until then. And I was like, oh, okay, this is different. So I think when I read that it was magnetic, that's when I was like, oh, maybe that's that.
I think there also might be a bit of soul ties there just because of what happened between y'all. Definitely
Okay.
like there's a bit of soul tie.
Hold on, let me back up. When I felt that I guess the spark or whatever I was talking about, and I read that it was magnetic because you had broke up for a second, so I wanted to repeat myself. I was thinking like that was that, but you don't think so?
It's not that I don't think so, because I don't know. Like, first of all, that relationship was very short-lived, and I think so much happened in such a short amount of time that I don't know. Like, but in the same way, it's like even when the situation ended, it's like somehow he kept coming back.
Right? Yeah.
And it was like it kept, so I could see the connection there, but I don't know. There definitely was a soul tie for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I think that magnetic part is what has me like drawn to the twin flame thing. Especially and it's like he did end up turning more into like understanding the spiritual stuff and understanding the spiritual stuff and like eating a certain way, but I can't tell if he just kind of picked that up off of me or like he actually did his own inner type of thing, or that really might not even have anything to do with what I'm talking about right now, like the twin flame thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think like for you, that's a very spiritual situation for you. Some people, their fitness and wellness journey is not necessarily connected spiritually to them, but I think because your wellness and physical well-being is so connected to your spiritual well-being that you kind of put those together with everybody. So I don't know if that's the way he perceives it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know the man like that. So but either way, I could definitely see how twin flame might play out.
I definitely think some type of soul thing does have to do with that situation, just because I also had like a dream where I was spot on with what I was talking about, and I felt it in my soul. So like, and when I like repeated it back to him, he was like, "That's crazy," because like that's true. So I think it's something does tie in.
It does. I'm not even discounting the twin flame thing because, like I said, I was never in that relationship, but I could definitely see the magnetic piece, definitely the emotional piece, that, and definitely, like I said, like a soul tie for sure, just because of all that transcended within the relationship. But I don't know. I've never experienced a twin flame. I think people get so excited and want to meet their twin flame, but truly and honestly, I'm good.
It ain't all that. Yeah,
I'm good.
it ain't all that.
I'm okay. Like, I don't need none of that in my life. I want something that brings me peace, something that brings me, just tranquility and just love and light. That's it. I don't need none of that flame. I don't need no fire, none of that. Keep that, all of that.
So speaking of soul ties, I heard you mention that. Here's what they say about soul ties. When you feel a soul tie, it's simply the sense that another soul is in your life for a reason. For example, if your life is very busy, yet you meet a new potential friend or potential business partner, the sense that you have a soul tie to this person could inspire you to make room in your life for the relationship. Perhaps you're not in the market for a pet, but when a friend says they need to give up their pet because they have to move overseas unexpectedly, I don't even know what that word is, I ain't even gonna lie, or feeling psychic pathway may give you the feeling that you have a soul tie with this animal, and bringing it into your home is the right thing to do for both of you.
That went left real fast. I don't know.
Where is this going? You might think of soul ties as the ties that bind, like the Bruce. Okay, I don't get this. The Bruce Springsteen song. I don't know the reference. Okay.
Yeah.
From my understanding, we'll just disregard that. From my understanding of soul ties is I feel like everybody talks about soul ties with like sexual relations, and like how to break them. So that's really my basic understanding of it. It's something that you have with the person when you connect it with the person that, it's just something that's hard to break. But it's like something that was serious, something that was significant. And actually they say like any even if it wasn't significant, you have to be careful with who you have those type of relations with, because you can form those soul ties with people that are you're not even really probably even meant to connect like that with.
Yeah. And I think like soul ties, like you said, like they don't have to be like you're in a relationship with this person. Like you said, they could just literally be somebody that you decide to have sex with, and it's just like they have this I don't want to say this hold. I guess I could say this hold over you. Like it's kind of like you just want to keep going back and back for more. And it's just, and we're all grown here. Anybody who's ever had sex before, like, like that type of energy level is different. Like the feeling is different. The vibe is different. The intimate level is different. Like it's different. And so you got to be careful, because people are carrying energy with them, and people are carrying trauma and all that stuff with them, especially as a woman. Like you allowing somebody to come into your space, your personal your personal space like that, like you can't play with that. And I think Asia has always been very cognizant and careful about that, but I think like recently, maybe like a year or two ago, I really tapped into that, because I was feeling like that. Like I was like, oh, like I like this person, we kicked it for a couple times, like fuck it, you know what I'm saying, like whatever. But now it's like I am very intentional about that, because I have a lot of things that I'm trying to manifest, and I have a lot of energy that I'm trying to hold on to for myself. So giving that energy to somebody else, or allowing somebody else to pour some negative energy into me, or even just some weird random energy, is just not with the vibes no more. So soul ties is real. And I think I talk a lot about this relationship that I had in college, and I think that was the greatest soul tie I ever had, and one of the greatest lessons I ever learned was from him, and like how to deviate between love and lust, and how to use sex as a energetic pull. Like he kept me coming back just with that. Like that was it.
It's to the point like a soul tie can even like, which I've heard, this is not anything that I know of personally, like from experience, but I've heard it could be like a mental thing. Like I've heard it could be so strong where the person thinking about you or something like that, and you feel it, and it's like, y'all are connected in that way. So you just have to be careful. And also, Jasmine kind of talked about that. This it's kind of like you're getting bits and pieces from other people, and you don't want to lose yourself within that. So you have to be careful. Be careful. When your mama was telling you to be careful, she might have not went into detail. She might not even known this part. But seriously, you have to be careful because it is like an energy type of thing, and you can lose yourself and change it to a totally different person.
Yeah.
Because of this
stuff. Different energy, become like, you just, there's certain thoughts that you may have, even like Asia was saying, like you may have dreams about this person, like this person may have all different intentions on you, like you just don't know. And especially like now that I'm seeking a relationship with somebody who is spiritually attuned, people who understand can easily manipulate you if you don't understand.
Oh, easily. Oh my gosh, easily. The fact that Jazz and I understand that, yeah, that's clear as day. If the other person does not understand that, yeah, you can get
easily manipulated. Like I know, like if I were to talk to somebody who wasn't mentally and spiritually aware of how deep and how certain things work, like I could easily manipulate somebody into, doing what I want them to do, or being, this person that I want them to be. Now, am I that type of person?
We're not those type of people.
I'm not that person. Like if I don't see that you're aligning with me, I'm gonna just let you ride. You know what I'm saying? But I could.
There are people
that will get you. And try you and keep you around, just because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I wasn't aware, me being the person that I am, I just know, like, I got a lot of things going for me. I'm a great individual. I got, I'm becoming the person that I'm trying to become, and the person that I know I can become. So when somebody sees that and they're attracted to that, and I'm not aware spiritually or emotionally or mentally what they're trying to do, and they're trying to manipulate or whatever, baby, that's raps. They can interfere with so much. Like they can interfere with your manifestation. They can interfere with you emotionally. They can interfere with the other relationships you got going on with other people. Like it's just so much. And you just really got to be careful with that energy, because it's just so easily manipulated. Like,
yeah. And if you come across even the wrong other spiritual person, so say you have two spiritual people, if you come around the wrong spiritual person and you let your emotions get the best of, everything, and you're kind of like, la, 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 la. That's another way you can get got too. Even though you're spiritually attuned, you can still get got. So stay on your P's and Q's, folks.
Stay on your P's and Q's, okay? On your toes at all times. Unless you married, you still gotta stay on your P's and Q's, I feel like. But I feel like there's a little bit more comfortability and, cohesion there. But unless you're married, you're in a very, very serious relationship with somebody, babe, keep your eyes wide open.
Don't even let it close. Don't even blink.
No peek.
Blink.
Open. Okay. Open.
All right, so the last one before we wrap it up, because I know today is a long conversation, but we have to get this out. Like,
get it out.
It's a lot.
It's a fun conversation. I think the conversation's going well.
It's fun. I'm having a blast.
Okay.
So soulmates. Everybody's trying to figure out what is a soulmate and everything. So it says it's a member of your soul group. So I guess someone who feels really, really, really comfortable, like almost like, not in the sense of that they're you, but I don't know, from my understanding, I guess it's just very, very alike, not necessarily one soul. So it's not like a twin flame, but it's definitely like very, very, very familiar feeling, very similar. It's like, oh, that's my cousin, that's my brother, something like that.
I think to me, like soulmate is probably the most, and I think all of these can be positive, right? But I think this one is the most, is easier to be more positive than negative, right? Like a twin flame, it can easily go south. Soul ties easily go south. Like, but with a soulmate, it's just like they feel very comfortable. Like you just feel very aligned with that person.
Like family.
Like family.
Together.
Yeah, like it's just real. The best word I can use is comfortable. Like, yeah, I feel like that's what a soulmate is for sure. And I feel like you can have multiple soulmates. Obviously, you had read in the beginning, it was like soulmates, and you have like friendship soulmates and you have soul groups. So I feel like you can meet a bunch of soulmates in a lifetime. Like, I definitely think me and Asia vibe on a soul level.
For sure.
Like, have I met a soulmate like on my path as far as dating? I don't actually think I have. I don't think I've met somebody so attuned with me on that level as far as like soulmate wise. Like, I think obviously relationships that I've been in, they made me feel comfortable and they made me feel emotionally safe and vulnerable. But that soulmate level, I just don't think I've tapped into yet.
I feel like I'm still currently with my boyfriend trying to discover that. I feel like with his family and him, like, it feels so natural. Like, it feels like his family is my family. Like, it feels like it's so comfortable. Like, I recently went to his graduation cookout and it just felt like it was my first time meeting everybody. Like, I met his grandma, met his parents and everything, but like, this is the first time I was around everybody. And, you know, usually when you around people for the first time, it's a little, some awkwardness there, you know, but no, this felt like family. Like, it felt like I knew them. Yeah, it felt real. I don't even think I talked to you about that. It felt real comfortable. My mom was there, my brother came, and my nephew came, and they said the same thing. Like, Jaylus, the baby child, feels that. So if he feels that,
child, you know, Jaylus, I haven't met Jaylus. Well, I met Jaylus. I haven't seen Jaylus in a long time, but I think he just used to be shy. So I don't know. Like, for him to feel comfortable, I'm like, okay, that's the truth.
And my brother, of course, he likes everyone. Well, he really likes my boyfriend. So I'm like, okay. My mom, everybody likes each other. It's very comfortable. Like, in his grandma. Oh, I know we're not going there, but like his grandma, I just love his grandma. Like, I just adore his grandma. Grandma Bell.
Grandma Bell.
Grandma Bell.
I like that name.
Grandma Bell. Yeah, so I'm still trying to discover that just to solidify if that's what it is with him.
I think that would be important though, especially like me and Asia have talked about this before, but I think it's important for both of us. Obviously, I'm single at the moment, but for both of us to connect with somebody on a soul level, like physically, emotionally, that's obviously necessary, but to connect with somebody on a soul level is like paramount, because where are we going from here if we can't connect on that level? You know what I'm saying? So I think that if that's the vibe that you're getting from Mr. Mans, I love it here.
I mean, that was my next question. Like, how important is it to you? And I know it's an easy answer for you and I. It's so important to have that spiritual connection. Like, and even if it means that I have to work for it, like, it's so important for me to have that in like my relationships in general, like with just people that are part of my tribe. Like, I need us to connect on a certain level. If I don't know, just relationships in general within my life. If we probably not gonna be that close. You'll probably just stay like an associate or just like a follower, you know what I mean? If we're not there, because I can't. I just love relationships within my life too much for it to not be on a soul or spiritual level.
Yeah. And I think like even right now, because I've said it before, like right now, I'm really in a space where I really feel like I'm in my isolation phase, where I'm just really trying to figure out who I am. And then, you know, I'm constantly praying and manifesting the man of my dreams. And I feel like that soul piece is going to be the piece that clicks. Like, it's going to be, I see you see me, and it's like, yeah, we connect like on a level that's beyond this realm.
We don't even have to talk, and we just know.
We just got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the connection is so much deeper than this realm, this physical place. Like, it's not worldly. It's of another dimension. You know, that's kind of the connection that I'm seeking at this point in my life. So, yeah. Soul ties and no tie at all, babe.
Yep. well, mine.
Not soul ties, soulmates.
Yeah, I was about to say
soulmates.
Soulmates. So I mean, I think really we could go on and on and on and on and on, right? There are so many different spiritual relationships and connections that you can have with people. And if you want to look at it, like I said, the source was called mindbodygreen.com, and it's the name of the article is Soul Connection, 12 Types of Soulmates and How to Recognize Them. But I mean, if you want to look more into it, you can look there. But I mean, I think we're going to go ahead and get right into our tip of the day. So would you like to go first, Jess?
Yeah, I can go first. I would say in terms of relationships, platonic or otherwise, be aware, like stay aware. Because like I said, I've recently run into some relationships where I thought it was one thing, but it definitely turned out to be a totally different other thing. Sometimes in other relationships, like we've talked a little bit, it's been cool, then it also turned into something else that wasn't cool, you know what I'm saying? So stay vigilant and always be mindful of the energy that you have around you, because that's key to me. Like, keep good vibes around you at all times, and if it ain't good vibes, it's gotta go. You feel me?
For sure, gotta go.
So yeah, that's my tip.
So I think for me would just be, if you're into the deeper thought of trying to get deeper into, thinking about your relationships, thinking about how these people have come into your life and what do they represent and whatever, I would definitely say, like, look this stuff up and write it down. Like, it was definitely helpful for me last night to just have that period of just writing this down and trying to figure out who was who, like who matched up with what, because I can definitely see things a lot clearer now. And I feel like I'm still on a healing journey. I say that I've been on healing journeys. I've healed some.
Your healing journey never stops.
It truly never stops.
It never stops.
So this part of my healing journey, it has definitely helped to just see who matches up with what part of, spiritual relationship they were part of. So yeah, I would just say write it down, look this stuff up, and try to figure out who matches up with who, so that you can continue to heal during your journey and not just feel stuck.
Yeah, and you can be more understanding of the relationships and why people are coming into your life, and their purpose for being in your life. So
right, because that for sure helped me. Like, I feel like I had like a breakthrough last night. I was like, oh, okay, like this is okay, I feel so much better. I feel like I can move forward, because there were some things where I felt stuck in certain places, and I'm like, no, I know I can move forward from this. I just need to have a deeper understanding as to why this person is that and what they were for me. So I understand now. You guys should do the same thing if you're, struggling, or not struggling, but just need some help.
For sure. I love that. I love the conversation. Yes. Is that all you have for the day? Because if so, I can do the closing.
Also, I forgot to say, hopefully y'all didn't click off of it yet, because I just want to say that this is our second to last episode. So episode of season one.
Yeah, season one. We're back. We're coming back, babes.
We're coming back, yeah. But the last episode is episode 10. So this is episode 9. So we only got one more. And yeah, y'all.
It's bittersweet. I'm so proud of us. But
we'll be talking about consistency. Yeah. So I just gave y'all a little
sneak peek.
What we'll be talking about next week.
Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. It's been amazing. We look forward to y'all listening, and we look forward to the reviews and, just giving us feedback on how you felt about the podcast and all the other episodes we have thus far. But you can follow us at TMBD Official on Instagram. You can search us on YouTube at The Mental Breakdown. We are streaming on all platforms: Anchor, social media, Anchor, Apple Music Podcast, Spotify. I think that's all. And you can follow me at journey.w.jazz. You can follow Asia at
Earth2Asia.
But yeah, y'all, that's all that we got for today. Be sure to share, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your grandmas, aunties, cousins, nephews, dog about us, because, we just trying to grow. But yeah, y'all, it's been great. We'll talk to y'all and see y'all next episode. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Mental Breakdown podcast. Please rate, subscribe, review, and follow us on Instagram at TMBD Official. See you next time.